Good morning, everyone. It's Sunday, July 21st. Let's go on the record. UMass President Marty Meehan facing a budget squeeze as Beacon Hill calls for a tuition freeze. Will the numbers add up before the students head back?
Proposals to finally attack the high costs of college. We get reactions.
I encourage the American people and all of us in this room and beyond to not take the bait.
Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley leading the squad as a war of words with President Trump continues to play out. Let's go on the record.
From WCVB Channel 5, the inside word from Washington to Beacon Hill. Today's newsmakers are going on the record.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to LTR. I'm Ed Harding, along with News Center 5's political reporter Janet Wu. Great to have you with us this morning. And our guest this morning is the University of Massachusetts president, Marty Meehan. He has held that post since 2015. Before that, he was the chancellor of UMass Lowell, where he's also a graduate. And from 93 to 2007, he represented the state's 5th congressional district in Washington, D.C. It's always great to have you with us, sir. Thanks for coming.
Great to be here, Ed.
The State House, it's still trying to deal with the budget. They have not yet come to a final budget for the fiscal year that actually started a couple of weeks ago. Your budget is playing a starring role in political negotiations. How firm are you on raising tuitions and or fees if you don't get your full $570 million?
Well, we support the governor's language and the House language. We've had a lot of discussions with both the Speaker of the House and the Senate President, the chairman of both the Senate and House Ways and Means, and we've made the case as to, I think we agree on the fact that we'd like to find a way to keep tuition in the long run as low as we possibly can. In fact, UMass has done that. If you compare the University of Massachusetts with the privates over the last 10 years, we've raised tuition about half the rate. If you compare us with the state colleges, we've raised tuition about half the rate that they have. Community colleges is the same thing. So we're all interested in the same thing, which is making sure we can keep tuition low, but we also need to make sure we have a world-class university. And Massachusetts needs a world-class public research university. And I want to make sure that we've made great strides in terms of the ranking. UMass Amherst is now ranked 26th among public universities in the country. We had 44,000 applications for 4,600 spots at UMass Amherst. We need to keep the quality up because that will serve us in the long run.
But here's my question. You essentially threatened that if you didn't get your roughly 570, you would have to raise tuition. If you get, for example, coming out of negotiations, 560 or 555, will you raise tuition?
Well, first of all, that's up to the Board of Trustees to determine that, but there was never any
threatening. But your guidance is important.
We have a transparent budget process where our Board of Trustees says to us, we want 5-year projections. It's very transparent. We make assumptions based on what we get from the state, whether or not collective bargaining is funded or not. We need collective bargaining to be funded. So we make those projections out of the long haul, and people ask us, the Board of Trustees ask us, what would it take to keep tuition level? There have been times in the past where the legislature has said, okay, we're going to fund at that level if you make a commitment. So it wasn't a threat in any way, shape, or manner. All it was said we could keep tuition level at this particular amount.
So it sounds like you're saying, yes, we're going to have to raise tuition if I don't get my 570.
Well, I don't think we're going to get that amount. It's really a matter of language at this point. And what I'm concerned about in terms of language is UMass has a system of governance, independent governance with a Board of Trustees. It has served the university well. Since the Saxon Commission was put together, the 5-campus system was put together, all 4 of our undergraduate campuses are nationally ranked Tier 1. We need to make sure that we have that kind of language. We've borrowed, for example, over the last 30 years, UMass has borrowed about $3 billion. The Moody's and the bondholders, we make certain promises that we can pay that back. If the legislature starts telling our Board of Trustees when and how they can raise revenue to pay those $3 billion in bonds, our bond rating is going to go down. It'll cost us millions of dollars.
So let's talk about tuition. The Senate wants to freeze tuition at UMass campuses regardless. And just a few weeks ago, Ways and Means Chairman Michael Roderick sat in that very chair you're in right now and said that point blank in the show. So if that is included in the budget, what will you do? A tuition freeze. He wants to freeze tuition at UMass.
Well, I mean, I'm confident that the language in the governor's language and the House language will win out. If it did happen, we're already into the new fiscal year, so cutting that much money in this fiscal year would be very, very difficult because we're already into it. But there would be massive cuts, obviously. But I'm confident in the dialogue that we've been having that we can come up with a long-term solution of projecting in the future how we keep tuition level or below the rate of inflation, which is reasonable.
Roderick's even said that you personally need to take a sharp pencil to your bottom line.
We have
distinctive with it.
We have saved millions of dollars in efficiencies. We now buy energy all together. We now buy products as a system together. We're engaged in shared services where we're looking at ways that we can do human resources all in one spot. So we're constantly looking at ways for efficiencies. We do all our payroll, for example. All of that gets done through a central office. We're cutting expenses. In fact, we could probably help the state colleges and state universities cut their expenses by having us do their payrolls. So we're constantly looking at ways to be more efficient, and we will keep doing that.
Let's talk a little bit about UMass Boston. It had a $30 million deficit a couple of years ago. Former Chancellor Keith Motley was accused of mismanaging it. He is now gone, at least as chancellor. But more recently, the Pioneer Institute said the fault really lies with you and the central office for basically too rapid expansion of the campus, and you didn't have the reserves needed to back that up. What's your response to that?
First, nobody blamed Keith Motley, number one. Keith Motley did a great job at UMass Boston. He continues to contribute significantly to UMass Boston at the Boston campus, so nobody blamed Keith Motley for anything. All the public universities are under stress. There's stress in terms of enrollment. Demographic declines are going to make, it's one of the reasons why so many privates, non-elite privates in Massachusetts, are beginning to close. The Pioneer Institute report, frankly, was bogus. The data that they relied on was bogus. We rely on what Moody's says. Moody's is actually in their upgrade of our bond rating. We went from a negative to a stable, which is unheard of in higher education. They specifically mentioned our management, the fact that we require our reserves to be high. We run the university in a way that will make it last in terms of our fiscal stability into the next decade. So the Pioneer Institute was a bogus report, to be candid with you.
I want to talk about Mount Ida because there are those who say, speaking of taking on too much, you've been accused of sabotaging the Boston campus by taking on Mount Ida. Fair charge, not fair charge?
Well, first of all, Mount Ida was a UMass Amherst initiative. UMass Amherst is part of their strategic plan for almost a decade. They have a strategy. They want a presence in Greater Boston so their students can have internships, co-ops. They are the flagship campus. They're a huge campus. Most of their students actually come from outside the western part of the state. So we supported their effort to do that. But it was a UMass Amherst initiative. And in the long run, a decade from now, people will look at that and say, how did they get a piece of property that valuable at that cost? So the same way they're looking today, UMass acquired a piece of property for UMass Boston. We paid $18.5 million. I put it out to a process, out to bid. We could get upwards of $235 million for UMass Boston. Real estate is an important component of any cutting-edge university to look at real estate options. Boston's going to get a tremendous benefit from the Bayside.
You're confident that UMass Boston and Mount Ida will not collide? I mean, it'll be...
There's been a lot of stress on the Boston campus, but I'm confident that we won't be in a situation where they survive. But I would want anyone... UMass Amherst is not a regional university. It is a university that services students from all over the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and in fact, all over New England and around the world. It's the 26th highest-ranked public university in America. So this is not a regional university. It's a university that's seeking to provide services and internships and co-ops for all of their students that live all over the Commonwealth.
You ready for the OTR Pub Quiz?
I think so.
I think so? Man has been confidently answering questions, and now I think so.
Pastry, are you?
Oh, you were watching last week.
I watch every week. And what really bugs me, when Marty Walsh comes off and he asks about Patriots, I jump out of my chair saying, why won't they ask me that question?
Promotions needs to get a hold of that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's
Thank
good.
you very
That works.
much.
All right, UMass Trivia for Pop Quiz today. Amherst is the flagship UMass campus. The school has been called different things since its founding in '83. Which of these three, it's on the screen, which of these three names is not a former name for UMass Amherst? Is it Massachusetts Agricultural College, Massachusetts State College?
Massachusetts A&M.
Massachusetts A&M. One of the college's original mandates was
Mass Aggie, we used to call it.
Aggie. There you go. All right, here we go. You are former president of UMass Lowell, a graduate of UMass Lowell as well, as we mentioned. At its origin, the college was was called the Lowell Normal School. What does the term normal refer to? Is it economics? Is it teaching? Is it engineering?
It's teaching.
Teaching. The Lowell College was established in 1894, a teacher training institution for women. You are not just 2 for 2. I would say a rather strong 2 for 2.
I would say he did very well.
Very good.
Let's see
Okay.
how he does in the second half.
Ah.